don't play by me. You don't know. No, yeah. You better ask somebody. You don't know. Hey, yeah. He don't play by me. You don't know.
But yeah, so Kojic turned their backs on my father when he really needed them. And so I had been encouraged my dad to get out of Kojic because I saw how Kojic was not supportive of their ministries, especially the smaller ones, and how they would get swallowed up if if the pastor died and the wife
Yes,
was there and they didn't have an assistant
yes,
pastor, and then the bishop that wanted that church could just come in and swoop in and take it and do what he want to do and give it to his son.
yes.
And so I was like, Dad, no, you don't need to do that. We need to pull out and you need to be independent so that that doesn't happen to you because you built this down here by yourself. Kojic hasn't helped.
No help. They didn't give any nothing towards the loan to buy the property in
Oh,
1969. The Pastor Walker started True Hope in 1969. I believe so. Am I correct,
I
Auntie?
was born already, so I think it was 70 because it's 1 year
70?
between me and DeAndre,
Okay.
68.
Okay.
So, but yeah,
That's
it was
also
around.
how long he had been participating in their
Yeah.
structure as an organization. He even helped, start some of the policies and things like that
Hmm.
that they have still today. He's 95 years old. People have to keep that in mind. He looks young,
Right.
but he's 95 years old. So he is like he's a pillar of the Koji community. Well, he was.
Right.
It's as if they don't know him now because as
Yeah.
you said, I think after the two responses and the meeting with Shoemaker, and we were supposed to get a response back from that level of their organization, and nobody ever responded. It was just like, well, you left on your own, Walker.
Yeah.
So I stepped in and helped him. And I started filing papers for him because my granddad didn't know what to do. To be honest,
Mhm.
Elder Quinn ran the business side of True Hope when True Hope
Yes.
was running, and
Oh
my
man.
granddad did the ministry.
And Tia did a
They
great
worked
job.
very well together.
Yes, they
And
did.
Sister
They were
Tolliver was the secretary, and she didn't play no games. Like she's
yes.
the best secretary ever. I miss her. I
Yes.
used to be like,
Oh my
"Oh, this
gosh, yeah.
lady," but now being older in hindsight, I was like, she was the best. There,
She had my dad's number and she
she
would
had
not,
his
she
back.
ran that office like a tight ship.
Yes, she did. Yes, she did.
So
If I
you
could
couldn't get
say
over on
corporate secretary, she
her.
was.
Yep.
Yes, bless Sister Tolliver. But
Yes, Lord.
yeah,
Yeah.
so
And the Queens did fabulous, mighty work. They did wonderful work. The Bates, like I could name off the families, but I don't want to get in trouble by naming off everybody because I'm gonna forget somebody. So, but the main leadership was there in full force and they were working. And they get the credit too because my father could not have done this by himself.
yep.
He had a crew of people.
Yes,
He
he
had
did.
a
The
core
Wrights,
group of
Sharon and John
people.
Wright.
Yes,
I'm
the
just trying
rights as well. Like
to get them.
True Hope really was
The
growing
Bates
and
too. They
growing.
were a
Yeah.
part of it too, but for the most part, Elder Quinn ran the money side of True Hope.
Yes. Yes, he did it. He
You
kept us
had to have
above board.
proper documentation with Elder
Yes.
Quinn. He wasn't playing no games. You just coming up. You have to have the proper request, the proper paperwork. It has to get approved.
Yeah.
Trustee board was running correctly then.
Yes.
I didn't know of any sham stuff that was going on, so
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't know of any
not
other.
there, not in that aspect of the
Right.
church. There's other stuff, but not in that part of it. Elder Quinn
Right.
kept the books and he was doing an excellent job of that.
Yeah. Absolutely. And then one day he wasn't.
Yep. And we don't know
And
why.
none of us knew why. And
Still
still to
don't know to
this
this
day,
day
we don't
what
know.
happened. So
So if you want to know, we don't know either. We want to know too.
we
But
definitely want to know. If you know what happened,
right,
please
tell
share it
me,
with my aunt because we
inform
are
me, because
confused. And it's like when we ask about it, we don't get answers. So
yeah,
you know
it's
how when your elders and your parents, they be like, oh, that's taboo. We don't
yeah,
talk about that.
started.
Or don't ask me about that, or that's none of your business, or something like
Mhm.
that. Even as adults, they tell you that in some aspects, and you just have to take it for what it is. And we still don't know. We
Yeah, but for
don't know
what it's
why our
worth,
church split up the way it split up, is what I'll say. One
yeah,
day things just start happening, and as people started leaving faster and faster and
yep,
faster and faster. And like my granddad was left with the people he was left
remnants.
with. Ugh.
But
And
we saw the Exodus coming and we tried to warn. and we tried to adjust.
Yeah.
But when you have people who have been used to doing things one way for 40 years,
Mhm.
50 years, they're not really
Nobody
so
challenging them or
right.
not having much of a checks and balances,
Yeah.
except for maybe one or two people. That's too much
Yeah.
power for one person to have alone.
Yeah. So it
So
became
that's
difficult to introduce new changes
that's-
or to do improvements so that we could keep the membership that we had. But that became impossible. And pretty soon the membership dwindled down and it was really, really skeleton crew, basically.
Mhm.
I even left. I left to move out of state.
At one point, I stopped going. When he gave the church to Philip, I was just like,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, I wasn't going there.
I'm not about to be
Yeah,
sitting up
I
under the
was.
tutelage
No,
or the pastoralship of Philip. I just
don't
can't
do
see myself doing
it.
that.
Right.
I never left my church. That's my home church. I
Yeah.
still have my membership certificate from
Well, there you
1999 when
go.
I officially joined True Hope. I was born and raised in that church, first of all.
Hello.
And can't nobody tell me that I'm not a member of that church.
Exactly.
That's crazy to me that somebody would say that. But
Yeah. After all the
I,
blood, sweat, and
come
tears
on
that
now.
we put
Are
into
you
that.
serious? Like, do you know who you're talking to? But
Right.
right, whatever.
Anyway.
But I have my original membership that was given to me by I think Elder McAllister's signature is on my
Okay.
membership,
Okay.
I
Cool.
think, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, yeah, I still have that, and I'm pretty
Hello.
sure others don't.
Yeah.
So when they say that, I'm like, I still have my membership certificate. Do you
Hello.
want to see it? Have the receipts. I said I have impeccable
That part.
documentation. Don't play with me. But anyway,
Excuse me. So, all right, let's get back to after Philip came in, Dad came back, and there was a struggle getting Philip out of the way. Philip kept doing his online church services, and then he had some insider people who used to be faithful members at True Hope, but they chose a side to so to
yeah,
speak, and
yeah.
they was going with Philip's side, no matter what was being said or no matter what was being proven. They were on Philip's side, and so I'm not going to speak what I don't know or I can't prove. I only heard some things about what was happening in that tug of war, so I'm not going to discuss that. But my father ended up regaining control of the church, and he started going back down there on a regular basis, and put in another secretary. And then one of the young ladies who happened to be the mother who Nika talked about earlier, who walked in on her son and Philip in the bedroom, she also came back to the church in the name, under the cloak of Jesus, in the name of helping Pastor Walker.
Yeah.
And so that young lady came back and she was on the board and whatnot. And there were some things that was happening behind the scenes on the board that I was privy to, and I would pull her to the side and explain to her that if you continue to do this, you are going to go to jail because you're committing a crime. I don't care who told you to do it. You are going to go to jail if you continue to do this, and I'm going to tell on you. I'm going to be the one to call and report on you. So unless you stop, we won't have that problem. But if you continue to go on, you're going to force me to call the police on you and file a police report because you are committing crimes actively. Instead of that being, and it wasn't said nasty or anything, it was after several times that this person was, breaking the law and committing crimes. And I went to her and the other young lady. But to make a long story short about them, because again, I'm not here to talk about them or bash them, but they were committing crimes. Bottom line, they ended up stealing. I said stealing over $200,000 from True Hope. We have the records.
Mhm, mhm.
And they left the church and left my father high and dry. Uh,
Not high and dry. She gave him like 4,000 and something dollars. She said that was all that was left in the account that she took over after she named herself CEO of the organization and didn't tell my granddad that she was switching the bank. and changed the paperwork and made herself the CEO and president of the company, wherein she was able to, and this is what the bank said, use the bank account like it was the church's bank account, like it was her own personal bank account, and mishandled over $200,000 of the church's money, of which Dr. Walker only ended up with 4,000, maybe $600 of, after he was blocked from the account that she closed and went and opened somewhere else. Yeah. And her and the secretary, who was also a board member, as you stated, were the only ones who knew that this change had took place, and they were the only ones handling the finances, and she wouldn't turn over any financial records to anyone ever
Well,
while
she
she was
missionarying it
handling
up.
funds. Yeah, that's what happened. It's a
That's
lot deeper than that, but that's just the
Mhm.
surface level of what, and we have documentation of everything we're talking about to prove everything that we're saying, or else we wouldn't be saying
Yeah, because we it's not alleged.
it. Yeah.
It's not alleged. We have proof, but I just choose not to say the names because I'm not here to bash anybody. They'll be taken care of, when they get taken care of. Because God is not forgot. God knows He saw them, so
Absolutely.
they're going to be taken care of. But I'm not here to, like I said, to bash people. I just want to bring awareness that when you see things going on at churches, you have to don't come to church with your eye with blinders on, y'all. That's what this book is about. That's why I
Yeah.
wrote this book, The Way to Sacred Scars.
Mm.
Because we
And
come,
the way it is,
y'all have no idea how much heaviness,
yeah,
how much weight that we carry,
it's a
not
heavy
only
load.
in our shoulders, on
Yeah.
our heads, on our backs, just our whole entire being is stressed out because of all the things we carry, all the secrets that we keep, all the things that we know that could be detrimental to people, but we're not here to, you guys are still souls. These people still have souls and they need Jesus.
Mm.
So who am I to judge, to issue out judgment for somebody in my judgment? I don't have that right. God didn't give me that right. He gave us the right to judge the fruit of others, but we don't mete out judgment for others when they do wrong, because
Right.
God is the one that handles that, and He has the mercy, and He knows what He wants to do. He knows how He want to get with that person and change their mind and maybe save them from themselves. So there's still hope for those ladies. There's still hope for Philip. There's still hope for John Harris. Like
Mhm.
there's still hope for everybody that is still here living. But you got to be willing to submit yourself to God,
Mhm.
not the devil.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
You can't do wrong and hide under the cloak of the church or of God. You can't do that. You
no.
can't have evil intentions and ulterior motives to take advantage of people and take things from people under the cloak of your leadership position at a church or organization. You can't do that. You can't do that to people.
And
That's
God
not
is
right.
tired. He's tired of all these people who are mistreating his children. Just had a preacher the other day got sentenced to 9 months
Mm,
for mistreating
I saw
God's people and taking their money.
that. Hmm.
And he knew what he was doing. So you can't say that this was a mistake. No, he willingly did what he did, which is why he's going to be where he's going to be. And
Mm,
you too will be there. But God has mercy.
mhm,
Even in his sentence, he got mercy because he could have got more time than 9 months.
mm,
Federal.
mm.
So we have to be careful also. These people need prayer, they need deliverance, but they
First,
also need
they
exposure
need,
so they don't keep going
yeah.
around to different churches doing the same thing and ruining other people's lives.
Yeah.
That's what this is about. We don't want somebody to continue to go from church to church to church to church and damaging people. You slaughtering God's people on purpose.
Not
And
only that, we trying to the people who are silent, because we were those people too. So, we were raised to not talk about what goes on in your house, including your church house. You
mm-hmm.
keep that in the family, if you will, in your natural family and in your spiritual family, but that's not good.
Mm-mm.
Keeping secrets and hiding stuff and sweeping things up under the rug and no, we don't talk about that. Oh, don't tell them that because they can't handle it. Who do that sound like to you?
You don't